You find a prisoner.
I mean, it's a thought.
Joe.
Isn't that? Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah.
Yep.
It's, but you had met him before that, so it's okay.
I did in Silo.
Silo and so.
But it
So
was
you could vouch
a
for
one
him.
shot.
You vouched for him.
Yeah. The guy's cool. Sort of.
Okay.
You're dead now.
So when we left off,
We were fiddling with our new abilities.
yes.
Yeah.
And I'm done with my character's name. Okay,
Minerva.
just to start off, thank you, Minerva. I've been dealing with my chronic pain disorder a little bit today, and it's making me a little bit spacey. So every once in a while, I'll forget stupid things, and feel free to chime in. It's totally fine. But Minerva, not today.
Good.
Maybe tomorrow. So Minerva was starting to tell you that she had an assignment for you, that you were actually going to get to put your new powers to good use soon.
Oh yeah.
So the reason that she brought you all in was because she couldn't handle what was going on. I don't remember how much you guys actually know, if anything, about it.
There's a thing happening tonight.
Yeah, there's something we have to
There's a
start.
thing happening.
And we have to be a bit discreet about it.
Right.
Yes.
But I don't exactly. I'm not sure if she even told us what it was.
Well, we just know the other realms are like bleeding into ours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Saints of Providence.
Yes.
That's what we are.
That's what we're looking at.
Secret society.
Yep. Technically, that's what you are now, because you didn't run away. So you're stuck forever.
I would say Providence studies.
So
Trying to organize them. Or
I know, yes. I know.
he wants the cake. What are you doing to my dog? Alright, so.
Do you want music?
Music.
I remember everything when I'm not doing
I'll just do this one for now. I'm sorry if there's ads in the music. It's YouTube's fault, not mine.
Ads in the fight. It's fine.
Okay.
Get it?
Oh, jokes.
We got it. Thanks. So we have noticed that roughly every fortnight we actually have a disturbance happening. Are you done? Okay. That means it's going to happen again tonight. I'm going to send you all out to find out, or to try to keep everyone else away until we can figure out exactly where it's coming from.
Try to punch people.
Come again?
Punch people.
No. Punch monsters.
Yeah.
I would recommend what he said, because otherwise you might get arrested.
What do you know about monsters? I read.
You have had an extensive library for the last few days.
So we spent a couple days here? Or I thought it was just the one day.
No, it was we're picking up a couple of days, I think, later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said that you guys were training
Cool.
for a little while, that you were able to experiment a bit.
They were
Good. Taking studies.
It is very important. I will send Benora with you. Just to try to make sure you don't all die on your first outing.
Fair enough.
Yes.
I'll
Something
make sure he doesn't die.
I appreciate that.
Right,
It is
floating in.
very useful to me. Something is bleeding through and it's able to affect our world. So far, it doesn't seem like anything has physically punched through. But unfortunately, I just don't have the stamina to keep up with it. I know you're very concerned about punching.
Yes.
Maybe we'll get you a sack of flour you can practice with.
That's a bit insulting, man, don't you think?
Side of beef. Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
Sorry, because
That like a champ.
sure the sword didn't take you like champ.
Is this an actual conversation that you guys are having? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You have a few hours before you need to go out. Is there anything that you guys want to do?
I'm just gonna go up to my room and collect my potions and extracts and make sure I have everything that I might need.
Happy bad well. Chamber Daniels over here.
Okay.
Yeah, just get my stuff and
I'll just be in my room until it's time.
All right.
I'm gonna maybe look if he's gonna check in the library in case there's anything that might help. I'm not sure. Not sure what I'm looking for, mind you. How about incursion into our realm? Something like that.
Do you have?
I don't.
Do you have basically looking to grab anything that you might need for what it is you actually have? Okay, so you have basically looking to grab anything that you might need for what it is you actually have. Okay, so you have basically.
Oh, there's no real reading things there, so
Probably just be investigation.
that's a great big zero thing.
Alright. I was hoping to have Rita here to introduce her.
Can you give us a skinny on her character, I guess?
Yeah, you can still introduce her to
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, it's
I
the same
will.
bit of time.
Yeah, I will, so that we don't have to go through all of that when she does get here. Basically, what I was figuring, and we might have to retcon this a little bit later, but she missed our lovely dinner because she was kind of in jail.
Ah.
She was,
But it's a he, isn't it?
Yeah.
sorry, yes. He was kind of in jail.
Gotcha.
Playing instruments without a license on the street.
Peddler's license.
Kind of a little bit of
Those are hard
a
to come by.
scuffle.
But
But
is he any good?
He's
Well,
not a
find out.
mime.
Yeah,
I don't like
Yeah.
mimes.
not a mime. Musician.
I like mine.
They always get in that box.
Yeah.
He prefers a brass instrument.
Oh, brass instrument.
Yes.
Oh, and like a military band. Oh, yeah, big pop and ceremony. Yeah, I can get behind that.
There you go.
I was looking for a tuba.
Shooter, schmoozer, anyway.
A tuba might be a little bit hard to take into battle.
Could be a blood weapon.
That's a good march.
This is true.
What do I do?
Anything can be a blunt weapon.
4 years.
No, teacher.
So I'll leave it up to Rita to give us all of the details on Isaac. We'll just kind of leave the entry to that, and that he's been invited.
And he's present now.
Yes, we'll just say that because I think it's the only way to filter the stories together.
Just curious.
Alright,
Okay. So are we okay to skip towards the evenings?
I think so.
Okay.
Prepare.
Yeah.
Alright.
We'll be rattling a bit when we're something like
I'm
Fantastic.
we're a bit very thin over the top, okay, but
I'm clinking
I'm looking
with
more
all
potions.
my. I've got my bandolier.
I don't know, sure.
Potions and little glass vials.
I've got ceramic vials and glass vials and like one large vial.
I just put a song in my head from
Repo.
Repo.
Yeah.
Little glass vial.
Same dirty clothes, blades extended, ready to go.
Alright. Benroy will guide you. This isn't typical. So I don't want you to think that it's always going to be like this, but you'll see when you get there.
Right.
Where are we going?
Benroy pretty much doesn't say a whole lot, but he gestures you to follow him, and leads you out the door. You guys are in, the Piccadilly area, which is very high-end, lots of,
nice.
3-story buildings, very clean and everything. So he starts leading you down the street,
Yeah,
and it leads you very far away from the circus, opposite direction. You wind down a few of the darker alleyways. The sun is starting to set, so the shadows are getting a little bit longer. Everything's starting to glow, a little bit of that reddish-orange color.
Anything unusual happening in the streets? It's kind of just business as usual.
No, it's a weekday. Nothing terribly unusual. People leaving more office-type jobs and trying to get home. Peddlers trying to sell off the last of their wares before they close for the evening.
Do any of these normal people see my legs extended?
No.
Okay.
What
They
you
don't seem to be reacting too bad well.
No, they would see him the way that you saw him on the first day. This is something we talked about last time, but people who don't know to look for something won't see it. So you guys know what you're looking for, so it's a little bit easier for you to be able to see. You had that third eye opened for you.
Mine's
Yeah, that thing.
I swear to God.
So you start heading away from the central part of the city, and the buildings start to get spaced out a little bit more. Things start to get the environment gets a little darker as the sky is starting to get a little dimmer.
We're going towards the river.
I would say you're sort of following along it, but not close by. You're still a little bit away.
Alright. Okay.
Not a big fan.
Yeah, it's pretty stinky, this orchard.
I'm sorry, where are we?
What?
You're still traveling through the streets, so Piccadilly is pretty close to where the Queen lives, where all of the major
You're probably used to it.
things are, the more of the metropolis area. You're heading kind of away and away from the water.
Got any,
Working stuff.
given my background,
There's another
would I
level
be
there,
able to
sir.
explore the area?
Yeah, you wouldn't necessarily be uncomfortable. They might be a little bit more uncomfortable because you're starting to get into less of the nice spaces, and it's getting darker on top of it.
I was asking if would I recognize the location more precisely?
Give his name.
You haven't arrived yet, so the streets are still familiar to you. There's nothing specifically noteworthy about that. He leads you along a black iron fence that's not in the newest of condition. And he suddenly stops. He turns around to all of you and says, "We're here." If you look over, you'll actually see that you're at the opening to a cemetery.
Oh, I'm fucking
Nice.
kidding me. You don't love me. You actually don't love me.
I do!
Fucking zombie shit going around us.
I haven't said anything yet. Okay. Well, yeah, he's gonna say some more stuff. we need to make a perimeter and make sure we keep all civilians away. We don't want them to see anything that might come through.
What might come through exactly?
That's a very good question. What were we expecting?
Last time, it was able to affect things on the material plane, but it wasn't able to come through. We couldn't tell what it was. We couldn't feel anything from it. Just that it had agency here. And it won't look normal.
That's good as mud. Really?
So we're looking for something not normal.
Yeah.
I found a few already.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm staring very intensely as he speaks.
You'll know it when you see it.
I know.
If you have it.
Barely would.
Perfect.
Keeping him up.
Did everybody get a slice of the cake that we went through?
Matt never offered. He just.
I served the birthday girl and myself. I didn't know I was serving everybody. Would you? I'll get you a piece of cake. Anybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
After that,
I'm right here.
we're going to need to move it out of the way. Oh shit, board. First board of this.
You might recognize this one.
I'm
No.
gonna.
Probably send
Tito is gonna close his eyes for a little.
Probably.
Alright.
Lovely.
Who is that?
It's not bad.
Good
Sorry.
enough.
Yeah.
Actually, not the best tool for that.
What?
I'll take this away.
Sorry, I wasn't conducting in there.
Do we need more room than this?
I'm trying to let you go room. Please love me.
You know how to get it. Ah, it's this one.
Fuck this board. Fuck this board in all its entirety.
These are strong words.
For good reasons. This is the therapy board, correct me if I'm. No? Yes?
Yes.
Yes,
Fuck
there it is.
Fuck this board.
That was a big one.
Although it did give you a good.
That's true. We haven't done
You have any tank dealing cards or no?
that. No, I'm wait, guy. Wait.
Yeah,
That's a wait on this.
Damn.
It's pretty big. What have we got?
It's a shame I don't actually have a tabaxi in here. I don't remember who is who.
We have bird people. And probably lizard people. Oh.
You can just use Charlie.
Oh.
I think this was me.
I didn't care.
I don't remember.
You get the trash pile though.
Maybe these look familiar? No.
Mine was a grey one, I think.
Okay.
I forget which one was me.
Might be that one.
Probably is.
Or
Looks like he's holding a gun.
I think this was yours, the hobo.
that's not me though.
The
I
hobo.
guess that's
Oh no, this was the one that I was.
Actually, the tranquil people. And then,
yeah, me and pop that.
okay. So, I guess this was. Oh, wait, this was me. This was me. I have both of them. Okay, so I guess this is. Nobody. We can say this has been right.
Am I fighting flying side? Is that what I do?
Ease this out.
Ooh, we're using. What's his name?
Okay.
Okay. I don't remember the line character.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Let's do that for a while.
I'm still mad at what you did. I'm still so mad. That fucking cliffhanger.
Oh, that was great.
So
man.
mad.
That was great.
Okay. Do you mind if I get to here?
Okay. How do you want us all? Or okay.
You'd all start off in the
He told us to form a perimeter.
Correct.
Yeah, that's true. So, where so the entrance is where?
Is this the entrance?
Correct.
Alright, well I should stay at the entrance.
I was gonna say. Okay, we both have the same idea.
I'll just take this. I'll
Yeah.
take a flank, alright? Yeah, that sounds fair.
I'm gonna check this shrub out.
Yeah.
Right here. Right at the front.
That sounds reasonable.
Yeah, put me wherever, it's fine.
Okay, you're gonna be over there kicking some 2 stars.
Yeah, so
I think that's you.
No.
You usually memorize it.
So is Isaac then? Right, so Isaac's over here.
Come
in.
Hello! Oh my goodness, that's a big puppy.
That's Remus.
He's very friendly.
Oh, this was a very long drive.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Really
in the middle of nowhere.
I think I don't go there then.
It's a nice area of nowhere.
Not really.
Birds that starve the dogs out.
Hello, darling. I'm Shelly.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Hi, I'm Matt.
Hi.
Sure.
He's everywhere. He just wants love and snugs.
He's very soft.
He is very soft. He is.
Where are you coming from?
I'm from over in Nassau County.
Me too. That's what I want to know.
Oh, well, I came straight from work. I work at Monster Music. It's on the Hempstead Turnpike.
Are you sniffing my bag?
It's because I have yarn in there.
Yeah, he loves yarn.
Dog's just shit.
You're a yard person.
I'm in.
You didn't tell me this shit. Bless
What school did you go to again?
I went to University of North Florida.
That's where I went.
What?
Graduated in 08.
Last spring.
Little bit of
I'm the baby
here.
of the group, I think, right?
I think so.
Probably you or Shelly, right?
What? How old are you?
23.
Yeah, you're a baby. You're a precious baby.
Where did you study there?
Music.
Oh, they have a great music program.
Does anybody want to fill Rita in on where we are at the moment? I don't know if you guys
Yeah,
are
we're
reviewing any.
We are,
Sorry.
we're investigating this realm bleed into ours, and we're in the graveyard. Something's going to happen. We're not sure what, but we all know it when we see it.
Your
Twilight
existence has
Order.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, and if you want to take a moment to describe Isaac, since we didn't really get a good
Perfect.
description of him.
Isaac plays trumpet. He's kind of like one of those pretentious musicians. He thinks his music is going to change the world. Well, probably he's just going to be like, pretty okay.
If it's okay with you, we were going to say that Isaac missed the initial dinner because he got picked up for playing music without a license on the street. So he decided to maybe go and visit after and say, sorry, I missed it.
Or not, it's world changing.
Pretty much.
We don't need no stinking licenses.
I'm above that.
Okay. You would have had your quote-unquote third eye opened, so you will be able to see things now in the real world that you've never been able to see before. People who have not had this revelation would not be able to see these things even though they're right in front of you. The first thing you would have noticed is that Benroy, who appears at first as a very tall, very dark-skinned man, is actually a cat person. Yes. So he is more or less your platoon leader at the moment, trying to make sure that you don't die on your first mission.
You notice I'm very aware. I'm keeping a very wary eye on the cat person.
Are you not a cat person?
I'm not a cat. A Rexas cat monster
Tabaxi.
person.
That's rude.
I'm sorry. That's specious, right?
As a man of accepting a religion, I would have thought higher.
And a demon came when I hear from one of the people in the garage.
I've had dozens of cats.
Oh, cats are fine. I have no problem with cats.
Well, they don't last long, actually.
Cats like this.
So what style is what parted?
They serve their purpose. Lessons
Tito is
learned.
looking for any signs.
Yeah, no, like you would just general investigation of
Like stop
Yes.
signs or?
I'd like to
Signs
investigate.
that-
I think that's very fair.
I think we're all investigating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, 20. Not natural.
No, 7.
It's a nice rock.
What is Tino specifically looking for? Is he looking towards the outside? Is he looking towards the inside?
The perimeter is in this direction, correct? This is
Yes.
the perimeter, so that's where he's looking.
Okay. The sun is getting lower. You probably still have another 15 minutes until it actually sets.
I'm just gonna wander around. I'm gonna yell over to Benroy. Benroy, the perimeter, are we keeping things out or keeping things in?
People out, things in.
So both then. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go around the perimeter.
Okay. You said you rolled a 10?
I rolled a 10.
I'm sorry. Did you roll investigation?
Yeah, sure.
Or perception, I'm sorry. Perception.
Alright.
Oh, we're
Same
investigating.
then.
Wait, perception?
So it's perception, just a 10.
Okay.
I had 10 too. Then it's perception.
Okay. Matt, what did you roll?
It was a 20 for investigation. It's a 17 for perception.
Did you roll?
I'm kind of new to D&D.
You have a 7 for perception.
Great. Perception's wisdom, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is
Yeah,
the average boy game.
Jack of all trades. Oh wait, no, close.
So you do see people in the distance. Nobody terribly close. There's no real good reason for anybody to be in a cemetery at this time of night. You had
What's the distance from me?
And 17 perception.
20 feet?
20 feet, like over here?
Probably closer to 40.
Hmm.
At least a block away. A solid block away.
What are they doing?
Some of them are closing up shops. Others are just walking, not really paying too much attention to anything that's going on. They're just focused on where they're going. There's a couple of people on the corner, just about a block away, that are talking to each other and they're not actually just going anywhere. But everybody else is on the move. And it's, as you're walking around and keeping an eye out for what else is going on, you will notice that there are fewer and fewer people as the sun is setting.
Okay.
Perception to hear what they're talking about?
You'd have to get closer.
Okay.
Sneak.
I stand my ground.
Yeah, I don't want to go there.
Okay.
I was gonna maybe go grab them, make them go get a drink or something, just to get them out of the way.
Are you going to do anything, or are you going to keep your post?
Well, if this is, an act of secrecy, yeah, I'm gonna walk over there and I'm just gonna hand them each a gold piece, and I'm gonna say, oh, there's this great bar a couple blocks away, you should check that out.
Okay. They are happy to take that gold and run with it.
Sweet. All right, that clears our perimeter. We can be a little bit more lax-easy.
That's good.
I probably shouldn't have started with gold.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that was a lot.
Money means nothing.
What a baller.
Okay. So time passes and you stay going around your perimeter.
I'm up like.
Shadow boxing.
Yeah.
Are any of the people staying?
No.
Okay.
Right now, it's almost completely dead. So now the sun is actually set.
Cake or drink?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm looking at those mozzarella sticks though.
Help yourself.
Go for it. Candidacy is not a word, but it's a special feeling.
Thank you. Alright, so it's now full dark.
So,
Do any of you have
full comfort where we are, like know where we are, because I am.
It's very uncomfortable here.
I meant for the street living that both of us have been probably
It's quite
doing.
pleasant, actually.
Your shit.
What's the light? What's the light condition like?
It's pretty dark.
It's moon.
There's no actual lamps in the graveyard. There's some street lamps, but they're a little bit away from you because nobody wants to live like right next to a graveyard.
I continue staring forward in the same exact direction I have been in the last hour.
Okay.
I'm gonna just like swatting away mosquitoes.
If you want to, you can roll for that.
Roll.
To Tito or
Yeah.
okay.
We'll just
Small, like, how
roll attack.
distraction.
Yeah.
Are you proficient in pebbles?
Suspicion of pebbles.
11.
11.
What's your AC?
15.
No.
You miss.
It's
Like whew, right over the head.
It does.
But you would hear
Very
the.
slowly turn my head around.
Well, first you would hear the sound of the pebble dropping. You would look real close at that.
Okay.
Oh God!
Yeah,
No! What have you done?
I'm gonna just yell over. Benroy, as much as I enjoy an evening in a graveyard,
Yeah, well, you're supposed to start.
it doesn't look like anything's happening here.
Can I get a stick? Is there like a stick or some sort of object I can pick up with one hand?
Yes, it's pretty.
Don't care what. I mean,
Yeah,
just
it's
something.
pretty willowy. It's like a younger
stick. I'm
branch.
going to cast a light spell upon the stick.
Oh.
Okay.
Guy.
Improvised torch.
I like it. I don't know if any of you have. Does anybody have dark vision?
We're
I
human.
want to check out these steps.
Watch
What's
it.
that? Yeah, right there.
Not yet.
Okay.
We're all good.
It's not a joke.
Oh, I believe it.
I do know city secrets, though.
Yeah.
I'll give you your
You would know that there are some unsavory characters you might find in graveyards. But
Body snatchers. Whoa! Oh,
Yeah,
I know
absolutely.
those.
Yes.
I've encountered some of them. Very, very distrustworthy types. They break the law in order to try and heal people. And they deny that. Yeah.
You've lived a very interesting life, certainly, man.
I'm a doctor. It's very difficult to actually learn about the human body without spending a few rules for that.
And that's
That's
why
one
you're here,
rule.
huh?
That's one rule I will not break.
That's why you're here, huh?
For
Benroy raises one fist in the air, doesn't say anything.
Oh.
Yeah, man said something.
Something's happening.
Don't tell me.
Do you hear that?
Do I?
Do I?
Do I?
Roll for. Yeah, perception.
15.
11.
Shannon's here something.
15 and 22 would hear it.
I hear nothing.
You hear a rustle.
Direction. Center what?
The center of this graveyard that you're around.
Fuck yeah.
You hear like this scattering of stone against stone.
I definitely did not hear it. I'm just.
Yes, Catman, we do that. And what the fuck is that, Catman?
It's trumpet out of your ears.
Hold your positions. And he stares towards that central space. His vision's a little bit better than yours. But did you want to turn the light in that direction, I'm assuming?
Of course.
I don't want to speak for you.
No. That is exactly what I would do. Obviously. Yeah. What do you like?
So as you're all focused on this space, and the light is now in that direction, you are starting to see movement in a certain area. Little bits of the grass and the dirt starting to shift.
Like up, like coming
Like
up on our
something's picking
head.
up.
Yeah, it's just sort of a light rippling effect in front of one of the headstones.
St. Patrick, you tell me.
No, you see, that's a good sign.
I finish a potion when I see this happening.
Yes.
Okay,
You see that?
I'm just keeping my eyes fixed and I grab the potion.
Vanishing like he vanished the snakes.
Down.
If you can, I'll be all yours.
Benroy keeps the fist in the air and then changes it to a flat hand and crouches and steps towards, a few steps towards where you see the movements. And you hear scratching sounds coming from that space. After a moment or two, you actually see the tips of little white, it looks like stones at first, and then you realize that it's actually fingers and then a hand as it reaches out to the heavens from beneath the earth.
Nope.
I don't like that.
Nope.
Skilly.
Without fully taking his vision off of that skeleton that's pulling itself from the ground, Benroy would not super shout, because he doesn't want everybody else to hear, but in a raised voice say, "It's being controlled. We have to keep it here."
Can we kill it?
Yes.
Yo, let's do it.
It's already dead.
I hate you so much. I really do. I'm gonna punch you again when we get
Ask
to
him,
class.
what's it being controlled by?
I don't know,
That's the
but
problem.
this would be a good time to roll for initiative.
Oh!
Try the thing. Snap.
That's not good.
So you have your dex, right?
Yep, dexterity.
Oh, 10. That's right. I mean,
20.
I have dex to add. I'm
Not nat, but
Is it anybody 20 or up?
You're
Me,
I'm 20.
20.
Okay.
I think we can get green maps.
15 to
15 to 20, yeah. Nobody?
20, not natural.
20, not natural.
10 to 15?
10.
13.
That's how
They're bringing up the rating. It's fine. So we all take damage in the first round. You can help us out.
Yeah, you have a bard set because he said that you're going to show me how to play like a real cleric, not shit one. And I'm like,
I didn't say you were a shit cleric.
He's completely
You're just-
unified me.
You're just not a real cleric. You're a cleric. I basically invented that class.
What did Eric roll?
You're like 8 gods at this point.
8.
I know, yeah. You're a Pokemon trainer.
Pokemon trainer. Can I preface this with I put my knuckles on? Yes.
Yes.
Yo.
Pretty attached by the heart.
Yeah, I want to take the seal out and my notes.
Alright.
Making this guy jealous.
Isaac actually gets the first move.
Oh crap.
Wait,
You guys find
we tied. What's your
Are
dexterity?
you serious?
They're just
No, are you
dexterity.
serious right now?
With
there. That's
Is that any resemblance of closest?
kind of.
That's terrifying.
that was +2, that's a 14.
Alright, plus 3.
Alright.
Okay. And Tito would be first.
Alright, so I'm going to attack it literally from right where I stand. You see my arm just kind of like extend an unnaturally long distance. Just throw the blade right on him.
What just happened?
25 to actually that'd be 24.
That hits?
Mm-hmm.
I will
Yeah, four psychic damage. And
It's
bonus action, I'm gonna come down with my other blade.
Okay.
Natural one.
So that's going to be a no, that's going to be a miss.
How much damage is it sustained? What do I see?
It's just a hit. I'll say the left arm. Actually, the left arm bone has cracked. It's not off, but you can see a definite crack in it.
Good friend.
Mm-hmm.
Good friend.
Okay. Isaac.
Alright, let's see. Well, since I'm like over there and everyone else is like not over there, see? Let's maybe try and get its attention and cast, let's cast Vicious Mockery.
Okay. What would you like to say?
Hey, you!
Hey.
Little voice crack was intentional.
Okay.
Isaac is very good at this.
Okay.
You ain't got no skin. 18 plus 3.
It's not an attack roll.
Oh,
So,
what is it?
what's your DC? What's your DC? What's your charisma modifier?
Plus 3.
Plus 3. Okay, so DC 13 wisdom. And it has to be over here.
It can hear, it can understand, but it would be a miss, unfortunately.
Did you roll?
Yeah, oh, you're right.
DC 13.
I'm sorry, you hit. You very much hit.
Then your tower sucks.
D4?
It's a triangle.
Yeah.
You should done it.
4 psychic damage. And it has disadvantage on its next attack roll.
40?
What are you asking me?
He's got all of it. Alistair. That was your whole move, right?
Sorry, he's researching for me.
Oh, it's my turn?
It is.
I'd like to just take a step back, and I'd like to hold my action until after Sharon says something. Can I do that?
You poncy bastard.
What action are you going to hold?
I'm going to hold my attack.
Until Seamus's move?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I'm just taking it in. I want to see what this thing's about.
Okay. So once Seamus attacks, then your attack automatically basically goes off.
Yeah.
Okay. That
Once
makes
I see somebody actually physically hit.
That makes it Seamus's turn.
Let's go. I'm gonna fuck it up.
Yeah, punch it. And don't hurt yourself.
Wow, that's so rude. That would be a 22 to hit.
What are you hitting with?
My fist with my knuckle on it.
That hits.
Okay. Let's go bonus to grapple afterwards.
Okay.
5.
That's to hit?
That's damage.
Okay.
I don't think it's not. Yeah. What I roll to grapple?
Athletics.
Athletics check.
D20?
Don't worry about it.
Why?
Because that actually takes it down.
Oh shit!
Oh. See, Seamus takes his brass knuckles, wraps his fingers around real tight. He has been dying to punch something all day. Then he goes right for the sternum, and it just shatters into 100 pieces.
I held my attack. Does that mean I still go?
I guess you just lose the attack? Because there's nothing to attack at the moment.
Just go like kick it.
Yeah, if you want to go kick
I
the
just put the potion
pile of
or
things.
the vial back on my
Oh,
finger.
then he says, "They're not so tough. Where's the rest of them?"
So, he doesn't actually answer you because he turns around and he is right.
What spot?
That spot.
They're all spots. What are we talking about?
You kept putting it on the line.
Okay, you're here.
There we go.
Okay.
So Benroy's going to turn to that one, and
Can I ruffle that one?
no,
Yeah.
because it was not up on your turn, it came up after your turn. He is actually going to extend his claws and take or step towards it and take a solid swipe at it. That popped out of the dice tower.
As opposed to a liquid swipe.
Yes.
Plastic swipe.
It happens.
That's what he does.
What?
It's essentially what I'm doing.
It's true.
So he swipes at it and it actually takes a step back. That way. Thank you. So he's going to swipe at it again. Okay, we'll stay in the top right now. Knock it out, and then look at it.
Oh, it's just one. It's 1 point plus your strength modifier, so it's less than one.
Alright. So he takes 2 swipes that just miss because it takes a step back. And then he actually takes a solid swipe at its neck, and its head snaps back. It's still up.
Oh.
Come on, Galloway. It's supposed to spar with you later.
And that puts us at Eric.
I'm going to,
Smack it.
yeah, with a nice,
Bludgeoning bonus on the skellies.
15,
What's proficiency?
yeah, 17.
Hits.
Yes, plus one strength.
And you hit it with your mace?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there an emotion that Eric has right now? Is it like pure instinct, or is he freaked out by it and that's like bashing it? Okay, so it's just
I'll see you
horror
later.
and
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going to try and put it
Back
back.
to where it
all right.
Yeah. Send it back to where it belongs.
So you smash straight down right where the spinal column is, and the whole thing just crashes in on itself, and it is down.
Double, man.
Well, those 2 are down.
No. Go away, Jen.
2 actually right behind the person.
Me?
Sorry,
Are you fucking kidding me?
2 spaces over from her.
Are you fucking kidding me?
They kind of come out of the ground at the same time.
Do they look like what they look like, essentially?
No, she's right.
You're still just
Yeah, I mean, there's still mostly skeletons. There might be some bits of clothing,
Man
maybe
flesh.
some hair.
But they don't look particularly different.
They're not especially fresh.
Okay.
Nice.
It is definitely the bones themselves being animated. We are back to Isaac. I'm sorry, Tito. I forgot to switch those.
Alright. Yeah, I'm just gonna take a few swipes. Swipe 1. 10 to hit.
Miss.
Miss. Second extra attack. 18.
Hit. Roll for
You get
damage.
extra attack on the one.
It's 2 weapon fighting. 2 psychic damage.
Which one?
This one.
So isn't that a bonus action though?
Yes.
Do you get to add your proficiency on the bonus action?
Yeah.
It's an attack roll. It's you
Yeah,
don't,
it's attack roll. I didn't think you
you
get
don't,
to-
on the damage roll, you don't add your modifier.
Interesting.
And, gonna take few steps.
This plump grass.
Yeah.
Sorry, the clumps and grass are not easy for the minis to stand on. And that's it?
Yeah.
Okay, then we go to Isaac.
Let's see. Not so many good places to run here.
Is this the second attack? I don't think so.
Nope.
Oh,
I think I'm just gonna take a stack. Is this completely enclosed?
Yes.
Oh, so there's no gaps?
Okay.
Not
It's
in
within melee range of the target.
Am I?
Was she before?
Was I in before?
No, because you were in the corner. You have to be within 5 feet. You have to be within arm's reach. So I don't know that you're here.
Oh, I should do that too.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
That's yours.
She uses.
She knows me.
I
I actually have used her to find you before. When you were sleeping.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did. You should have said it. Yeah. She shows up, you break cookies, and I'm like, I'm not awake. I'm okay. And I'm like, open the door. Oh, well, goodbye. Close the door.
It's fine.
I
Sorry.
know my slippers are really work well.
So you moved?
I moved.
She moved there.
Yeah, I moved there. Let's try this bardic inspiration stuff out. Let's see. Who should I inspire? Do I have to pick a target or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Yeah. What was your name again? Seamus. All right. Let's see.
And that gives.
Sorry.
That's.
No, it's fine. I just don't want to move things around on my phone.
Bonus
It's,
action.
she gets to use it on her turn.
Oh, okay. Bardic inspiration.
Joke, I don't know what it does.
It's.
You get that like a D4 for your roll?
Is it? I thought it was
should
advantage.
That's what I thought it was too.
be- No, it's D.
Encyclopedia.
It's at this level.
I just need to start just straight reading the book all the way through. I've done it before.
Fucking books Sarah gave me. I was using a seed pile of books for
I helped her put together her bookshelf. I've seen it.
At this level, it's D6.
You get to add a D6 to your roll.
Fantastic.
So whatever one you want. You
Well,
get
not advantage roll.
Do we have any
Attack
tiny
roll or
beer for
saving
tiny
throw?
people?
What's that?
Do you have any tiny beer for tiny people to use to drive home?
I can just get you a smaller glass of beer.
Yeah, well,
Thank you. Tiny beer for tiny person.
That was a.
I was in a short how far are you?
Like 5'1".
No, you're fine. I have like 4'10".
Yeah, plus the medication, it adds the small and the lack of alcohol tolerance.
That was a bonus action.
Okay.
And then you had your movement. So you still have an action.
Punch something.
I'm a bard. I don't punch things. I attempt to seduce them. Thank you.
Bards are proficient in refuse. Not bad.
Yeah, but my strength is like.
It's actually dexterity.
Okay, my dexterity is decent then. Alright, I guess, can I stab it from there?
Yeah, refuse.
You would actually have to
Yes.
step forward because you have to be within
That
5
should be
feet.
your attack bonus, which is going to be your dexterity.
Yeah.
Stabby sword.
So it'd be +4.
Okay,
So you roll D20 and +4.
but I still have to step forward for that, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Alright, Isaac, do your best.
Go, Isaac, go.
Oh, shit.
8.
Just 8? Okay, that is a miss. So you take a nice swipe, but your confidence isn't there. You really just got introduced to this whole concept today. It might be a little bit early.
Rapier is a very stabby sword.
It's-
If they swipe instead of stab, that would make them miss, wouldn't it?
I'm glad.
So that would make it Skelly over here's turn.
Fuck me.
Who is actually going to take a nice swipe at you.
From behind.
A nice one.
And me?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm
great.
gonna call out over you and say, behind you!
I know. I can't do anything.
14?
Nah, man, you missed that.
Okay. They are moving just a little bit too slow, so they swipe, but you're able to just move out of the way.
Old bones move faster.
That's all they've got, so that would make it Alistair's turn.
Are you gonna do something
That would
with
have
me?
been dumb.
I'm just gonna it's not.
They're
it's
different.
your roll, I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna lackadaisically walk over here and inspect this fallen skull.
Where were you before?
I'm just over here. Like this, like it's like 20 feet.
Like that one? I don't know if I'm moving.
And I'm just gonna bend down and kind of look at it and be like, this is all fascinating. And then I'm gonna drink a potion.
I hate you so much.
Okay.
I'm gonna drink one of the ones on my belt and the small ones on my belt.
Okay.
And it's how far? 10 feet from this guy?
Yes.
And am I 10 feet from this guy?
Yes.
So when I drink my potion, it's kind of this like purplish black swirly vial in this glass vial. And when I drink it, I begin to like emanate these like kind of tendrils of black swirls.
like this.
And I need them to make a
Okay.
what kind of saving throw is it?
God help you. Saving throw.
A strength saving throw.
Both of them?
Yep. 10 feet.
Good old Mark. That's a derby game.
That's a 10 for this one. 10 for each of them.
They failed.
Okay.
So they take 7 points of necrotic damage.
What are you?
This is just a little something I've been working on. So yeah, these like
That's where
black swirling tendrils like come off of my body and radiate and just shoot out towards the two.
Affects it.
Yeah,
Necrotic.
What?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
Alright.
necrotic still hits
This
me.
is why you're saying.
Alright, I should be less scientific about this.
Unless it's a specific undead that's like. You know,
Alright, fair enough.
Yeah, they
I
have.
thought necrotic would be.
They do have things that they're vulnerable to and immune to.
Oh.
That's unfortunately not one of them.
You did damage.
I did. The tendrils appear and shoot out, maneuvering, I'm assuming, around your comrades.
Yeah, they just go straight to the enemy.
Straight through, causing the bones to glow.
Actually, technically it says all creatures, so Seamus, go ahead and roll strength saving throw.
Just a 20 plus my board.
DC 15 strength.
Yeah. You have to be at 15.
That's a 20
You're fine! Unless you take half damage, it's up to you.
No, I'm gonna say you're really dexy because you just scooted and then you just scooted again and you're real good at the scooting and the wiggling.
But I got a tendril that kind of came near you.
Yeah, it just went.
This is some weird shit I'm going on.
Oh, mind the tendrils there, Seamus.
No.
I'm just grinning when I see
You, sir?
You can actually see little
Little
bits of smoke coming out from the parts of the bone where they were actually seared by the tendrils, and they're in some pretty rough shape. Seamus, what are you gonna do?
What? Is the one behind me doing what?
It's looking rough.
I'm punching it.
Okay, just straight punch.
Yeah, we'll fuck it up.
Yeah, roll it up.
16?
Hits.
No.
Nice.
7.
Bludgeoning.
It is on its very
Bonus action on arm strike. 3.
You have to make another roll.
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
Fine. You have to 20, motherfucker.
That's how you do it.
That's what I did.
Double 20s!
And what kind of movement was that?
What?
You just turned around.
Yeah,
Right.
Okay. Do you want to describe how you take this guy down, or do you want me to do it?
I can go first. I don't know shit. I'm 16, man.
It's a good old 1-2.
Yeah,
It's
just
not. I don't have it yet.
you're just so excited, just exuberant about getting to punch something. So you just knock it with the one, and you do a pretty good job. And you come with the left hook, and it just crumbles.
Go!
It's the other one's turn. And he actually has a stone in his hand, and he's going to come at Isaac is
Great.
right there.
Like, is he bashing you with this stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a big horse.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
20. What's your armor class?
11.
Okay. So that's a
I
hit.
understand why you want to get too close to it, alright? You totally understand.
That's a good question. Leather armor?
So it should be 13.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Phew.
That sounded very well.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm like 13 without
Still.
armor defensive. Shit. And I like claw.
8 bludgeoning damage.
Okay. Well,
Straight to
I'm.
that prison music station.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm not doing so good.
Isaac's
guys.
almost down already.
So this skeleton takes it. It's just a hunk of gravestone, and it's got a sharp edge on it, and it just comes down right on the side of your head, and you've actually got a trail of blood trickling down behind your ear.
Holy shit. This is
Little bit
well
of
scaly.
Nothing.
It's just straight up Skeletor shit.
Which would bring us to Benroy, who we beat. And he's gonna run up very quickly,
Man, dude.
and he's going to do his multi attack.
No, Catman, dude.
Knock out.
What is that terrible easy statue?
That one hit.
Thundercat.
Terrible. I'm sorry, I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, shoot the point.
It's inside the outside.
Yeah, I'm not going to beat my morale, okay? So,
Really?
Okay. So
Basically, rough.
Benroy actually runs up on all fours. He is pissed that anybody touched one of his comrades, and he just takes it down from behind, and it is down.
That's like some hardcore MCM right there. Maybe push one day, push the cat.
I'm gonna just like yell over to Tito. He runs like a cat.
He stands up, and he's got the deep breathing through his nose. You can actually see his chest rising and falling, taking in all of this oxygen, and he's just glaring at you.
I'm not so concerned about this. I'm looking for more over here.
Okay.
Benroy, you can punch him, it's easy. You take it like a baby.
We might still need him. You're looking this way?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to do a perception check?
11.
The streets still look empty. You're not seeing anything.
That's right. Oh
Come
shit, we fucked up.
Why?
why?
We didn't make sure people didn't see us.
Well, I cleared the streets. Those two guys that were loitering.
You way overpaid them.
Oh,
It's okay.
So I don't see anything.
No, you're good.
You're going with
I
that,
don't
right?
think we need to see that.
What's that?
I'm a download.
Is that it?
The night's not over.
Alright, I'm going to go to, forgot my name.
Isaac.
Say, I'm going to do a cure line wounds. I'll basically attend to your wound, remain munificence, I'll and bless you and remove your ills.
I'm looking at this as it happens.
Where did your mini go?
4.
6 healing.
Am I missing something?
Okay, I
Oh, it's over
mean,
here.
you could be dead. But we're pretty good now.
Okay. Benroy is going to start taking up the perimeter, and he's actually going to pace it. Like kind of like a tiger. Paces in their cage at the zoo.
Or is it inside the cage?
Yeah.
Intently.
So he's going to be in motion, so we'll just say
It's
that.
harder than this.
Do you want to check?
Fuck yeah.
I'm definitely taking some bones and fascinated with the bone.
You find her.
Okay. Say hello.
You know, I'll just take it just to see if there's anything I could understand, alright? I mean, I've never seen a skeleton attack someone like this before, so, I'll move that around, see.
Are you checking for medical reasons? Or are you just, are you looking at anatomy? Or are you looking for something?
He's having a moment that he can't quite grapple with.
There you go, so I'm trying to see what I can, yeah, exactly right.
And you can do a medicine check if you wanted to. What was that?
True enough.
Shut up, man.
I suppose.
Give me half a second.
Yeah, natural 20 on the medical.
Oh, nice.
Not
Okay.
going to help much with this, but
When you're looking over the bones, it's really odd because for the most part you don't see the cartilage and the tendons that would be the only ways for bones to move the way that you just saw. So this, even though you've seen really fantastical things lately, it's really hard to wrap your brain around what these skeletons just
something was keeping
did.
it together. Something keeping it together. It wasn't tendon.
I'm gonna spend some time grinding up.
Do I find any loot, bro?
Roll. What do you investigation?
Fucking 4. I find a rock.
It's a great rock.
You find some bones. There are some bones. And there's a piece of tombstone. Yeah, that'd be fine.
Oh, did any
remember.
of these skeletons come out of graves? Did they come out of like?
They
actual-
all came out of actual
I just want to. After I'm gonna be grinding some of the bones up in like a mortar.
Mhm.
And this, no, they're reanimated
You're
skeleton bones.
sick
This
of-
could prove essential to my research.
I'm gonna inspect some graves then.
Yeah, I want to see if any of the graves that they crawled out of like are familiar.
I can't read, so.
Do a history check. And what do you want to inspect for?
If there's any commonalities between the graves that
Hey, that's pretty
That's
good.
what
all came out of.
Investigation.
Have a +1 to intelligence, not like minus.
What did you get?
21 for
9.
Okay.
9.
And 9. You can't really tell anything from 9. For your history, you're checking to
Just
see.
want to see if I recognize any of the names. Anybody of consequence.
See if they'll come from the same day. If they all died,
Yeah,
at the
just
same time,
looking for
or
any-
something
You
weird.
would recognize
link
maybe
or-
some of the last names, but they're not anything. Nobody that you met in person. They're all older than that.
Where's
Historical
Ben
figures.
looking?
He's
patrolling.
he's patrolling. He's looking inward, but his ears are, you can tell, are going back and forth. So he's listening outside and inside.
Benhard, did we do a pretty good job for round 1?
You're all still standing.
Some of us didn't get hit.
I sharpened
That's
my
wonderful.
You like to tempt fate,
You're what?
don't you?
There
All I
is.
got, man.
Can we take a short rest?
If you want to take a rest
No, I'm
and
fine.
not pay attention
I
to
think
what's
it's
going
good.
on.
Mr. Warlock.
I'm gonna keep looking for.
I'm just
it.
gonna keep-
spell.
I know. I only have 2. I'm just gonna keep grinding my reanimated
I'm looking for more
skeleton
things.
bones.
For more things?
Yeah,
Like for more information, or are you looking for loot?
No. Like any more monsters.
All
Okay.
I want is
I think
You come
that's
to-
Do they have any like rings or jewelry that they died with?
You would have to run an investigation.
9.
They have hands.
You see hands, you see bones.
Great one.
You see, some bits of clothing, but no full. I will say, okay, 2 things we're
Is
gonna.
it just regular graves and like tombstones, or is there like a big like?
It's not a mausoleum.
Okay.
I don't want to be too pushy, but it is 9:16.
When did you wanted to get out at?
Like 9:45.
So 2 things before we move on. One is you guys do level up
Huzzah!
to 2.
Really?
Moxie!
That's it? They just did that?
Yes. Well, I gave you guys credit for the first session of learning everything and practicing, and then we had enough skeletons that pushed you guys into level 2. The other thing, I meant to do this on the first session, but I'm actually going to give inspiration to Isaac, Tito, and Eric, because you guys actually gave me your list of questions,
Oh, thank you.
and I appreciate it.
You're bad players. Yeah, you are. Oh, yeah.
I gave it to you a year and a half ago when you fucking called me about it.
We discussed it, but you never gave me the list.
Literally, she calls me, she's like, so I have an idea. Like, here's my character.
And I answered them all right back to me.
Yes, but they were not solidified because we changed it halfway through.
I gave you full backstory from day
But you did not give me the paper. There's nothing in my binder that says
My
that you did.
was in that one.
I appreciate you guys very much, but I had to give bonus points for taking the extra step.
I can roll D12. Fuck yeah, that's good help.
Yeah, that's it. I had to go over a paper and
That's not a good
that was far more interesting thing to do.
I'm glad.
Less than what do I get to add? Or do I just add that?
It should have in like a parentheses.
I just add that, right?
They what?
If I roll less than something for health, or do I
Yeah, you
just...
get.
You roll to health, then that's what you get. That plus your constitution modifier.
Oh, I always did it. You could roll, and if it's lower than the parentheses number, you get the parentheses number. That's the way I always do it.
See,
It says like 1d8 or 5. That's what it is.
so I've had really crappy DMs before, and so we've never actually made it to level 2. So,
Wow.
That's hard. That's absolutely horrible.
yeah, so
How do you not make
How-
it level 2?
it's called no one else wanted to play after the first couple of
that's
sessions.
different. That's not...
terrible.
Yeah.
So what do you need help with?
I don't know how to level up, friends.
Okay, well, so you got a hit die.
I
It's
do.
1d8.
That's
so
neat.
you roll 1d8 and you add it to your hit point maximum.
Okay.
Or you can
And you add your constitution.
or you can just take 5 plus your constitution.
5 plus 2.
That's your choice.
Jen, what do you say? Do you want to do? You can either decide beforehand 1d8 plus 5 or 1d8 plus con, or roll and then say if you roll really low, you can take the parentheses number. Because I always let you guys in parentheses number if you roll less than.
Don't influence
Yeah.
your DMs on
I
that.
actually kind of like it that way, that roll, but if it's below what they would automatically give you, you can take what they would automatically give you.
That's the first level one where I never use any resources.
Everything on the sheet. Take that.
Oh,
All
shit.
right, I think I'm ready.
Good.
Easy enough.
Alright, here we go.
You
Hey!
That's
added
what I'm talking about. 7
prepared stuff.
plus
1 extra.
I almost doubled it.
Okay, so I rolled a 3, which
Oh, and actually, as a player, you have to do a lot right now.
yeah, I know. I've
See,
got to pick
every
a
single
thingy.
one of those scores
Yeah.
that you aren't proficient in, you add 1.
What?
Yeah. Cards are like checking trades.
So just literally down.
Well, you already have pluses in them. You got to fill it in from here.
Wait.
So you see next to like animal handling, it says wisdom.
Yeah.
So you have a minus.
Oh,
1.
okay.
So you would be a 0 now.
Yeah.
Because you have it.
Okay, there we go.
I can make this quick if you like.
No, it's okay. I got it. Don't mind me.
See, well, you're doing level 1 now, which would be negative that plus 1. So that's
Margin. Oh.
Yeah, when they get to higher levels,
Yeah.
bards can do a
You just level up, so you get
ton.
plus 1.
Don't they have like...
Okay.
Isn't like...
Because you get plus 1 in all the non.
Yeah, that's like way
Yeah, plus
up
1 in
there.
all the
All
non-proficient.
non-proficient.
Yes.
Okay.
Proficient mode is just proficiency.
And then the weapon you choose to buy each.
So my wisdom
You
was
knew you
would be
pissed
at
us off.
0 because I have
Yeah.
minus 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, I will slowly make my way through this.
Alright, what are we doing?
Everyone before everyone.
Okay, so you guys had.
Hey, if I find a trumpet at the store, I'm bringing it in.
Yes.
I didn't get a college degree for nothing.
This is actually the only character I've ever played that doesn't have a flute.
Flute,
You need a
I'm really bad at.
I mean, you
It's,
could always pick one up.
I
I
could.
don't know how
I was
efficient you'd be at it. I suppose if you study long enough.
There's a whole library at our disposal that I can't utilize because I can't fucking read.
To expedite things a little bit because we have time restrictions, I'm going to say that you guys spent some time there knowing that it's probably close to midnight now and the night is not over. You would have relaxed a bit. We'll just skip over.
No, I was not.
So, okay, those of you that feel like, yeah, maybe that was it, you would relax a little bit. Some of you would have stayed tense.
Yeah,
I'm
me,
more
yeah,
focused.
I'm,
I'm more focused.
We know you're paranoid. You have to stop.
Am I chilling against the tombstone like my
I've
hat?
lost the picture.
I'm practicing.
I've discovered a breakthrough in my research with these these bones.
I hate you.
It's the chemical properties and how they're reacting, and I'm going to add it to one of my extracts that I have.
Okay. So as you're all doing your thing, Fenrir is still pacing, but slower. His breathing has returned to normal.
But are you good?
Actually, when you ask that, he stops, and you can actually see some of the fur on the back of his neck start to stand up. And as you start taking in your surroundings that much more, you actually feel the temperatures dropped a few degrees. Very, very quickly.
I bring my scarf.
Did you?
I pushed my chinny slide in.
I'm going to bring my scarf, so.
There you go. Then you have it.
Fantastic.
Bundle
up, boys.
Does anybody want to roll for perception?
Sure.
Yeah. I certainly would.
I'm not going to because I'm still very engaged.
26.
7.
10.
I just re-roll that. I got it.
I can see. Yeah.
You're a blessing to society.
Buns.
Thanks for picking that up, that's good.
16 plus wisdom.
Perception, wisdom, so
I
it's going
swear
to be
to
minus
God.
16. Plus 0.
I need to go home.
You said 16 plus stuff? Okay. So Eric would hear it first. That scratching sort of noises that you heard before.
Okay, I was like,
What?
as soon as I can.
Okay. Isaac would start to hear it too.
I don't want to keep this a secret.
It's coming.
What's happening? I rolled a 7.
The back end, whoever's got the mini with the black base behind you.
Oh, great.
Yes. You start to hear the noises, you hear the rumbling.
I wasn't even looking.
He's not even paying
I didn't roll perception
He's
because
still
Okay.
I'm fiddling.
Now that you've been told there's something going on, are you paying attention?
Nope.
Okay. So as you're all staring at Alistair,
And I'm about to
feeling
drink
whatever
a
you're
potion
feeling, yeah,
That I just
you actually see the loose stones on the ground starting to rattle
Hey, Captain Asshole.
and
Turn
shimmer
around.
and start to move towards each other.
Off my side.
And there's, they all kind of merge towards one of the headstones that has actually one of those angelic faces and wings carved delicately on the top. No.
No, that's my hand.
No.
And actually you start to see larger and larger pieces of stone rolling towards this headstone
Ooh.
and actually coalescing and merging together, and you can actually see the moss that's on the edges of some of the stone acting like tendons to sort of glue these bits of stone together.
Oh, snap.
This can't be good. It's a gate monster. Yeah.
Isn't that
I'm
cool?
just drinking.
It's the only one I've ever painted.
What did you call it?
The gate monster.
It's
the gate.
It actually rips parts of the gate
Everybody else is looking
into it.
I'm sure.
Yo, don't turn around.
I'm chugging my large milky water bottle.
I go right up to her.
Okay. What are you going to do right up to it?
Is it just standing there, this thing?
It's still in its final moments of actually forming into something.
I look over to Ben Roy. What does he look? What's his facial expression?
His eyes are very wide. He's got gold cat's eyes, and they are like jacked up.
I do kind of a questioning look, you know.
And he just says to get back.
I'll punch it.
Okay, so
Then we're gonna roll for initiative.
wait before I wanted to do something.
Okay.
I said that.
Sorry.
Bonus action. I turn into a large creature.
Okay.
And yeah, okay, we can roll initiative.
Okay, everybody roll.
You see me just kind of.
What kind of creature?
You see me, except I'm bigger.
17.
More swole.
That's called
19.
growing.
18.
10.
17.
Wow, this is good.
19.
There wasn't anybody over 20, right?
No.
No.
I rolled like Would you roll?
17 afterwards.
Oh, I have to add stuff to it? What do I have to do?
Dexterity.
Oh, I'm over 20.
12.
Sorry. I don't have dex. I don't know what to do with it.
Why do you have so much dex?
He doesn't have dex. I'm afraid, but I don't know what to do
I'm
with
sorry, you
dex.
said.
I'm 21, sorry.
I'm 19.
Also, you get an extra spell slot.
Oh, yeah.
What did you say?
12.
Did anybody roll more than a 12?
Yes.
17.
Both 17?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, who has the higher?
3.
I rolled a 19.
It's a show chat. I don't know what to say.
In.
You give me a shot. Not
You push them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not nicely. You push them with great prejudice.
Go back. Understand me, please. Oh, God.
You feel like you have a ton of minis until you need something.
What do you need? Something big?
You always gotta look into golem, something golem.
Get the.
I have 3 guys here if you want guys. No, like, just to represent the space.
Oh, because it takes up that much more space? It's.
You just put them in there. There you go. I like that better.
Oh my
Hello.
That's cool.
Is that big enough?
Yeah.
It's a little oversized, but sure, let's do it.
Do it!
That's what I'm gonna use.
Oh, down you go. Oh,
He's not
he's not passing the stand test.
Okay.
There we go. Okay.
Stick a D4 behind him, prop him up.
Okay.
He's just gonna get impaled.
Alright, you transform.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Okay, I gotta do this. Okay.
Seamus, you said you punch it?
I'm going in for
I'm punching.
Knuckles.
Okay.
Knuckles.
Are you aiming for anything specifically?
Face.
The little angel face?
Yeah. Okay. I smacked that chair right in the
Did she
face.
say that?
I'll get a morning start.
Let's see what you roll.
Oh, fuck that. A 7, so no.
No. You try to jump and punch, and the jumping and punch really throws you off, and you just all air.
Great.
Is that all you have?
Where am I?
I guess
You're
you're
sandwiched between
Just
two
back
very
in a
large
little bit.
creatures.
Just backing up a little bit. Someone would say that as a good night.
Alistair.
She didn't disengage.
Oh, that's true.
Well,
you don't have a
yeah.
bonus
You
action.
have a bonus action.
No, it's fine.
You don't have a bonus action?
She did. but
Just
she
snap or
wasn't.
grapple, but I can't grapple something that big.
Oh, okay, you don't have a
You use a bonus
disengage.
action to disengage.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, it works.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, fine.
disengage.
Yep.
Okay,
Jump and tumble.
Alistair.
So I have finished my large vial that I keep off my
20
waist.
points
Yeah.
from.
That I added the skeleton bone powder to. There's kind of like milky white substance with like kind of a reddish blood twinge.
Yeah.
I have just finished this one. It's kind of like it's kind of dripping down my mouth as I finish it, and I start twitching a little bit as my like spine kind of starts protruding from my back, like lifting up my cloak and like tearing through it, and my jaw kind of like fades away into like this kind of fang-like teeth and large like protruding jaw. My right arm kind of juts out elongated, and like bones just kind of start protruding from flesh.
I'm not old enough to drink this shit.
I gain about 2 feet in height, and I am no longer Alistair. I am this kind of just creature-like thing.
Got big old hands.
Large, yeah, just large,
Got
like
threads.
Nemesis Resident Evil style hands on my right hand anyway, and just large fangs.
What was that really
So you still
underrated
need.
Naruto villain?
Still, yeah, still
Jimmy.
not. For now.
Yeah.
For now.
Kim-
Level 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah, you're the underrated bone Naruto.
Kimimaro?
Yeah, that's what you are.
Kind of, but more
Yeah.
monstrous.
Yeah, but that's literally just, yeah.
And
Oh, yes.
I start twitching, and I'm just gonna turn to Seamus.
Do you want to go to the bar later?
And I'm gonna say, I'm gonna turn to
Yeah,
Seamus,
go on,
and
yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
gonna be like, I will suck the marrow from your bones! And I'm gonna attack Seamus.
That's helpful.
Oh wait, I get to do this too, hold on.
What's
6, I get to add 6 to my HP.
Oh, because you're...
Temporary hit points.
Ooh, that's not good.
You don't
9?
roll. No, sorry, sir.
I make a kind of claw attack at you. Okay, my turn.
So this bone creature is a little bit off balance, and that works in your favor. That you are able to just,
I'm so happy
Bring her
I'm
back.
a teenager. So
Yes.
happy.
and that brings us to Tito.
I ignore their whatever they're doing. I can barely even notice them as I see this thing before me, which I am now of the exact size of. And I'm going. My blades are now suitably huge, and
I'm
gonna.
not on the side. I use
You see me jump into the air. It's like
pretend church.
you hear like the ground, like like shaking and
There we
everything.
go.
Okay.
Come down. See if I hit it.
Oh my god.
15 to hit.
Miss.
Shit.
Wow.
Oh shit.
Right.
Got real.
What?
Am I like just to the side of it, or?
Yes.
Alright.
Alright. Bonus action attack.
Oh.
None of that one.
Okay.
I struggle to regain my footing. Though.
I will say, did you move towards him during this action? Because it would have been a physical
I have
attack.
15-foot reach.
Okay.
Yeah, you're probably fine.
Then I'll say you go to take. You were just going to like just wail on it, right?
Yeah, basically.
You go to wail on him. You're not used to this form as much as the swords and everything are starting to feel like a part of you. This creature is just not quite fully you yet. So when you lunge forward to reach out towards him, you lose your balance and you stumble, but you gain yourself. So you're still upright, but you haven't done any damage. And that brings us to Eric.
We gotta go to the bar later.
I can see like total chaos here.
Oh my god.
So I'm there. It's there. Alright, let's see some holy flame coming down a little bit.
Sacred flame.
Yeah, sacred
That's
flame
my
on.
favorite.
Dexterity saving throw.
Yeah.
DC 14.
$15.
So,
half.
you avoid it. I think.
It's a one and done.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a cantrip.
Okay. Did you have anything else?
For now, I'm going to try to assess the situation, alright? I don't want to get too close to it. I may have to. It's dirty, yeah.
I'm taking torso shots next, so it's fine. We have tall to stand?
Not as tall as me.
It's a large construct, so it's pretty big.
Where I throw dice at him? I'm gonna climb this fucker.
I mean, it's definitely bigger than you. So I'm gonna have it's Benroy's turn.
Well, he's cool as Silo, man.
Can't be cool, so.
He's not that cool as well.
Okay.
Oh, that's the board you were on. That one there.
That one. So Benroy is going to reach behind his back, and he's going to pull out this weapon. It's called a kujang.
Where the fuck did he get this from?
He had it. It was on his back.
Then
I,
you got
I didn't know he had a weapon with him. Oh my god.
Just because he hadn't used it yet didn't mean he didn't have
I
one.
didn't see it on.
It's sickle shaped. This weapon. So he's going to do. That's going to hit.
10 or the first line damage. 10 or the first line damage.
He's a much higher level than you. So he's actually going to skirt around all of you, and he's going to
Good
aim
choice.
for the joint that attaches the shield arm to the rest of his body, and he's going to just cleave towards it, and he's going to catch some of that moss and rip some of that moss, but he's not going to cut through it. And that will bring us to the golem.
Oh, good! Goody!
Yeah! So he's actually going to...
The name's Golem, not Golem.
It's a tombstone golem.
told him.
He's going to multi-attack against... I suppose he would see the giant figure in front of him as the biggest threat, so...
15.
Most of the rooms.
AC, 15.
What happened?
Well, it's a 20 to hit, so
Alright,
that's
well,
what it is.
Oh, that's level 3, like 19.
Rosen's fuck.
You are lucky. 6 bludgeoning damage.
Alright, so what's he punching me?
So casually.
Yes.
Sounds all done.
Yes, he's just trying to just slam. Actually, I'm not going to slam the tombstone hand, the cross hand,
Okay.
towards you.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just going to nick your arm that you would use to try to block him. And it's on the attack, so he's going to go again. What did you say it was?
15.
16. So he hit again.
Something wrong with the DND. The rolls are not average grade.
Yeah.
What was that?
What? Nothing.
I know. Very lucky.
We are. Bless us all. And when you have a shitty night, it's a shitty night.
Mm-hmm.
13 damage this time.
The consequence is true.
Oh, I love smoke. I love smoke.
And that brings us back.
Yeah, it
So
sucks.
I'm trembling the rails. Alright, so I revert to normal size as I drop concentration.
What does that make you lose concentration?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, Isaac?
Well,
I
my,
thought I was next.
Isaac wasn't on you.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Sorry, Isaac.
let's see.
I thought he.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to climb my giant friend, but my giant friend is no longer my giant friend,
Ooh,
so,
giant
let's see. It was going to be great. I was going to climb up and like blast fanfare for Bardic Inspiration. This would be great, but alas. See, I mean, Jameis looks like he needs help.
What? No, I'm good.
Sure?
I'm
He's
good.
hurt.
He's hurt.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's hurt.
He's quite hurt.
Oh yeah, I got cure wounds. Let's do that.
I'm fine.
Let's see.
Or
So
some after ones.
how did I get cure
Yeah,
wounds?
Yeah, the healing work. I was trying to remember.
Oh, I guess that's what that was supposed to be, and the app I had was goofy.
What is it? C4 plus.
That's a bonus action, so you can actually do something else.
Okay. Well,
C4 plus spellcasting mod.
well, that's a 1
Yeah,
plus
you
you
get
get 4.
Alright.
I thought so too.
I
Yeah,
tried.
you have children.
You have cure.
I do?
wounds.
Okay.
If you put it in your list, then it's fine.
Who knows? Okay. I tried.
It's here. That's right. So definitely helps. Healing word as well.
Okay.
Cure Wounds is a
It's a higher base.
yeah, but you have to be
Right, so roll.
Yeah, it's a
D8.
Healing Word is a range.
Oh, that was a. Should I re-roll that or what should I do?
Just
Was it? Okay, 2. Okay.
Right, that's a full action, so.
Alright.
you can do a Bardic Inspiration for a bonus, right?
Yeah, Bardic Inspiration too. Wait, you want one? Okay.
No, you do the one inspiration. Doesn't matter.
You would have had to move over here.
Okay. Which is fine, you're able to do that. Let's see. Yeah, well, you were turning into the giant thing, so I definitely want to give you Bardic Inspiration.
Well, I turned into a giant. I think.
Well,
I've literally done nothing to the enemies so far.
I know.
I rolled my 10 points. I did my 10 points.
That brings us to Seamus.
What?
Seamus?
My turn?
Yep.
I'm trying to snack at me again.
Okay.
Like, square like.
Does it dodge me? Do I get an attack of opportunity?
No, you don't. You're dick.
Technically, I'm engaged with you right now.
But she can just move.
Away.
It's bad. She has a diagonal square attack.
I'm going
Yeah,
like
so she's
straight
not
in for,
moving,
like,
so...
like
Your call.
flex. What is your plexus? Is that what that is? Whatever that is. Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Okay, so you want to... Oh, okay.
Yeah. Feel me?
Yep.
Okay. With the knuckles.
Nice. That's
That's the 19.
That's a hit.
Alright.
Go. Alright. Oh, wait, not knuckles. 7.
That's all? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that sounded much worse than I meant.
That's her max damage.
Okay. Are you doing anything else?
Can I, like, get back up a bit?
You want to just think, well,
You want to disengage? Can she disengage from both of us? Just do it
I'll say
again.
yeah,
Just do it again. You're cornered. You're pinned here. You gotta do it again.
5!
You didn't roll that.
Oh, fuck it.
I was gonna say,
You're gonna get a 20.
20!
You're a loser.
No, I'm missing.
So,
oh. Okay, so that's double.
And that was 5, so you can take
you
that.
just did an unarmed strike, though, right?
Yeah.
So technically, you did 8 because it's 1 plus your number. It's 1 plus your.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
So 8.
I got excited. 8 damage.
But doesn't it double your roll?
She got a 4. She got 4
I
damage.
got 4. No, I don't roll.
You're not supposed to roll damage for an unarmed
I
strike.
have to get used to
Oh,
this.
okay.
I'm sorry.
Wait, what?
It's 1 plus your strength modifier. It's just
It's
a
not
straight
our
push.
class.
No, because I get a bonus with his because to do an unarmed strike.
Yeah.
That's the second attack.
Yeah. That's you have a 1d4 on strike. What's the
Oh.
point of class?
Oh, then yeah. So that would be 10.
I just know what an unarmed strike is. It says specifically.
It's basically
doing
like a
unarmed
monk. It's basically like a monk.
strike. If it's acting like a monk, then yeah, you
So then do
so
I
it's
add my
10.
+3 proficiency
Yes.
comes with it?
Yeah. Yes.
So then it's 7.
No, you don't have
That's
proficiency with damage. It's 10.
Okay.
It's 10 points.
So why are you arguing? He's attacking the monster, right? The more damage, the better. Do it.
Alistair.
Damn.
Okay. After watching Seamus kind of duck under me to attack this thing, I'm gonna like just peer angrily with my black eyes at Seamus, and then I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna attack this thing.
Are you gonna fuck it up?
Moving behind me, and I'm gonna attack.
You're gonna fuck it up?
We're gonna see. No,
No, I'm asking you, like, while you do it, are you gonna fuck it up?
17.
Seamus would like to ask Marrow if he's gonna fuck it up while he's attacking.
I'm just gonna turn to it, and I'm just gonna be like, the bones. I'll take the bones.
You sound more useful.
And we got damage. 8 points of slashing damage with my claws.
You add your modifier to that, or is it a spell attack?
It's not a spell attack, no.
Oh.
I have no strength modifier.
Okay. Turn over. That's everything you
Yeah,
do.
that's it.
Okay. Tina.
Right. So as it knocks me down,
Oh, shit.
I get back up and say, Round 2.
Oh boy!
So my back to big, large size.
Big Tito.
Gonna
Satanic Tito.
swing the blade out. Another jab. It's 23.
No.
Hit.
Oh, wow. Terrible.
You want another tiny beer?
No, I'm okay.
Alright, so that's gonna be 4 psychic damage and 2 non-magical bludgeoning.
4 and 2, you said?
Yes.
Okay. And that's your whole turn?
Yes.
Eric.
Well, I'm going to try and see if I can burn off some of this moss. So I want to try the second flame again.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
This is like
It's a 15 dex. So
14.
14, sorry.
He does not save.
Good. One damage.
Radiant damage.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It changes. It dries it. Dries it out.
Yeah.
It's a gene.
A little piece of moss just.
Hey, it's something, right?
Better than nothing, I'd say.
I want to say that was my first damage roll ever. It was very similar.
So, that brings it back to Benroy. And I'm actually going to have him.
Then we're coming up.
He's towards the back.
Yeah.
He's actually going to jump on the back.
Oh.
Between, yeah.
I'm not gonna
So, just put him behind it.
You stole my idea.
He's going to show you how it's done.
He's a fucking cat, yeah. Exactly. When Joe has his one shot, it could be a cat.
Here's you guys.
He's an important thing.
Okay.
That woman's not a problem.
So Benroy jumps on his back between the gate wings with his kujang and just stabs towards the mass of stone beneath him and carves a nice gouge before losing his balance and sliding down to the ground behind him.
Nice.
Which would bring it to the golem's turn.
We have to kind of just think of fucking fly with these things.
That
You
was
don't get.
that was my first
I
thought.
say the laws of physics would say no.
I want to see the wall.
Well,
Yeah, but is it animated?
No, right now. Sorry.
Okay, he's actually going to whip around to try to figure out what just happened. The golem. But he's not going to be able to hit Benroy because he's too dexy. Which would bring it back to Isaac.
Pussycat.
Oh,
yeah. Sorry. Let's see. Well, now that there's a large ally to climb, I'm going to climb the large ally. Also, what year was this supposed? Also, what year was this supposed to be in the
Mid to late 1800s.
mid to late 1800s?
Would it be after 1851? Yes.
After 1856.
Could be. We're squishing time a little bit, so.
Well,
If you need it to be.
just
Yes.
need it to work.
Okay, well,
If it works for what you want to do, it is that year.
let's see. Give some more bardic inspiration my friend's way, and while playing Ride of the Valkyries.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. We were just playing that, weren't we? We were just
It
playing
probably.
just playing on the playlist.
That's fucking great.
Because you gotta bring it. You gotta bring it.
That was a bonus.
Yeah. She used her action to climb.
That's true.
It's a grapple and I consented, so.
Okay. So we've done 2 rounds. It is 9:52.
I can stay for a while.
That means Seamus. Seamus.
I'm bumping it up.
Alright.
Oh,
My goodness.
Oh.
no, we can't hit it.
Nope. Okay, what'd you try to do?
Try to hit it.
Okay.
With what?
It turned as you were aiming for it, and
Oh.
you just fist.
Turn back towards it.
Round 2.
Okay. So.
17?
That's okay.
17 hits?
Yay! 6.
Okay. Alistair.
I'm gonna try to bite down on it, on his arm.
Okay.
With my big fangs. 19.
Hit.
And this is a hit. Come on! Okay. And 8 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
That is my turn. I'm just sticking with it.
Two.
A little bit frustrated at the lack of range of motion that I now have. However, still gonna keep swinging it out. Rolling Bardic Inspiration. Nice. It's 19 to hit.
Perfect. Go ahead.
We've been player.
Bless.
He likes to DM a lot too.
Johnny Bowling
Are you
does.
kidding me?
You just like sit for a while, okay?
Yeah.
You're rolling good attacks.
This is going to be 4 psychic damage and 1 non-magical bludgeoning.
Okay.
Second attack. 20 something.
Hit.
Alright. 2 psychic and 3 non-magical bludgeoning.
Okay. Eric.
And great sorry.
Well, I still think my plan was a good one. We'll try it again. So,
Yeah.
DC 14.
Light it up, fire.
Yep. I'm going to try and burn a bit more.
Burn this house down with fire.
He misses, so go ahead.
Oh, for God's sake.
I'm sorry, I make you laugh.
This is all I'm going to do.
Figure it out.
I have so much sympathy with you guys right now. This is how I roll.
She rolls like this all the time.
Yeah.
You're at least actually hitting it, so.
What was it?
1.
You can
Okay.
always cross arrows.
Yeah, that's what she does constantly. Well, she did something with the crosshair last time.
Once.
Yeah,
God
twice, actually. Out of like 15
cross arrows.
15 arrows.
You got your own wall on those, but,
I'm keeping track. Okay, I'm gonna have Ben Roy do a multi attack.
how's it looking? Is it
Yeah.
pretty solid?
You're actually seeing some of the seams
Okay.
again.
I'm a big big monster, so.
No.
A bigger, smarter one.
But you're just a big human, right? You just
I am
look
big human.
You just look like yourself. That's not
Yeah.
monstrous.
I look pretty good.
Look at the bones!
I am looking right here.
They're my bones. So.
Well, I can't see
What's
you.
your
It's
name?
small.
There
Okay.
You're less chill than Captain Asshole.
Um,
Captain Asshole.
I'm actually gonna have Ben Roy move up and go back to right next to the arm. Yeah, with hand. And I'm actually gonna have him slash at the face because he wants to distract it from the rest of you. He knows he can withstand a lot more damage. So he takes 3 swipes with his kujang at the face and actually does manage to catch the edge of the angel's face and carve towards the eye socket and leave a mark. And then the golem is going to attack. And that's a hit. So it's actually going to slam back at him.
He hasn't hung out with people so here for quite some time.
I know.
It's really, like, we've been actually blessed, like, y'all don't understand.
Yeah, this is kind of a big deal for the kitty. Okay, so the golem is actually going to whack Benroy back with the angel shields that it has. which affects him, but he's still standing firm, which means it as many times as possible. What?
I want to listen to
I did.
Let's see. So I'm still up.
Mm-hmm. You are riding my back.
Do you have any ranged things?
I could throw a dagger.
Do it! Throw the dagger.
Yeah, ranged spells, right?
Do I? Let's see. I mean,
Mock it is next.
I can't read my writing is a problem.
You can't read your reading? I can't read at all.
I guess I
You
could.
have vicious mock.
I guess yeah. I could mock.
Mock it. Thank you, correct.
DC
Did you pick these spells?
What happened?
Did you pick these spells from like a list?
Maybe.
B for B.
I have an app. Okay.
Prestidigitation. That's
like the most worthless stuff.
You know, open a laundromat?
No, it's very versatile.
Yeah,
You can do a
it
lot of
is.
stuff with it.
Like,
Like if I wanted to go up to if I wanted to like from across the room just be like bitch to someone, I could do it with
That's going to be any
prestidigitation.
more perfect, huh?
I love these tarot
So vicious mockery.
Alright, do it up. You know what that does?
I know what it does. I forgot I have to roll for it because my phone is a piece of poop.
You should have shown us.
Vicious mockery.
What'd you get?
Natural 1.
Oh!
D4 psychic.
Or psychic. 2.
2 psychic and
It's
it has
something.
disadvantage on its next attack roll.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that's pretty useful.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah,
No.
but do you want to keep going? It's the end of the round, right?
It is the end of the round.
I'm burning all of my moxie points, and I'm going to do good old 1-2 twice.
Okay.
So I get a regular attack, and I get 4 unarmed strikes.
Okay.
I think you could probably only do that once.
I have 2 points. I used 4 points.
But isn't it a bonus action?
Yeah, alright, might as well do it. I'll get 3. So, 13
Yes.
doesn't hit. That doesn't hit. That doesn't hit.
What happened to the
Wow.
What's coming my way? Yes!
You never know. Alistair.
I wanna Ben Roy's still on the face?
It's facing him. Yeah, he just hit the
But
face.
he's not like attached to the
No.
face of this thing anymore. I'm pretty tall. Can I reach its face?
How tall is it?
I'm like 7 foot.
Yeah, if you jump.
Alright, I'm just gonna walk up to this and I'm just gonna try and shove my claw into its gullet. Alright, that's gonna be another hit. 19.
Okay.
And 14s and 5s are all in rolls. 70 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
This could be worse. I've rolled 14 and 5 in the last 3 turns.
Is it?
Hit 5 damage.
More overhead strikes. Alright, 19.
Hits.
Oh, man. I've always had a 1 on something. 4 psychic damage and 2 non-magical bludgeoning.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Right.
Okay, so that's stuff go?
Yes,
Go,
bonus
go,
action
go.
attack. And it misses.
Okay.
Alright, I really want to hit him on base, but if
Do
this means any of these need patching up, I'm going to need to be able to move around out of its reach.
Just
And I don't want to get hit. So,
Sack it. No, sack it.
no, I'm going to do another session
I'm right. I'm not sacking things every single time.
14.
Just for growth.
For the fire?
Dex roll.
Damn.
16.
It's made of rock. Smash with a hammer.
But then if you need to
Rock
here,
on the rock.
I'll get smacked.
So that's all you have?
That's all I have.
Alright, I'm gonna do the multi-attack again.
See bonus at AP. Fuck it.
Finally! Okay. All 3 actually hit. So, yes.
a few hits and all 3 punches, I'm just going to turn into
Head back into the squishy
No, I think okay. Can I hit you?
Good try.
Okay. So Benroy is going to take 3 slashes at it, and he is just going to be hacking at its face. He catches the jaw and he rips it down and actually causes the golem to go down onto his knees, and he's in rough shape.
nice.
The golem is going to retaliate.
Everyone's carrying our asses.
Fuck yeah, he is.
If he's going to hit,
The legendary DNPC.
Mm-hmm.
Still waiting for Sherlock. Man.
Oh, I'm waiting for more card.
um,
I told him.
yes. Alright, so he smacks Benroy with his hammer thing, and he cracks. You can hear the actual smash on his skull, but he's still standing.
Knock him out.
And that brings it to Isaac.
Isaac. He's still up there, so.
Yeah, because he's looking pretty rough.
Hit him with your rapier.
Can I reach from there?
Jump and hit him.
I feel like my weak little bard legs would like crack immediately upon hitting the ground if I tried that.
Oh, it's just not great.
Yeah, that was pretty good
Yeah.
last time.
Yeah, let's do that again.
That was pretty
PC.
Hey, you're rocks.
That's natural 1, again.
2 psychic damage. At disadvantage.
Alright.
Yeah, that's good.
Seamus,
We're gonna try this again.
Seamus,
do it.
Holy fucking shit.
I just yelled
Bad
at
shot.
21. 21.
Better.
And whatever, sorry, so yeah. That would be 5. And that would be 5.
Time.
How do you want to do that?
Fuck yes!
What?
Can I do like a double? Or like if you like one and like uppercut, like one of those.
I would say that would
Yeah.
probably work better. I think you're going to, you jump up and you are just,
I'm pissed.
you are angry and you just want to be done and you're tired and you just smash him.
Deliver tomorrow.
You smash him on the side of the face and you actually feel the shift in the angel's face and you uppercut and that entire piece just flies off into this and it actually clears the fence and the rest of it just crumbles down and roll a dexterity for me.
14?
You jump back just in time so it doesn't fall on you.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck.
Please don't cry, please.
And yes, it is now just a pile of gravestones and bits of bone that it collected, and everything is still. And we'll call it a night right there. We'll pick up from there. Thank you for hanging out a few extra minutes.
thanks.
You guys did very excited.
Look. For.
Yes, yes.
I'm probably still in this form for like another 45 minutes, so
Oh.
I
Can you
don't even have the faculties. No, I cannot. I don't have. Yeah, so I'm probably just on the ground, like punching at the debris things.
Where?
No, I'm still mad at the golem.
What about that?
Yeah, I'm still like clawing at the debris and masses.
So-
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.